Madagascar, and they did have a few issues trying to fill his shoes. Decisive. Decisive can't get away this time around. Bach. Such a... So that looks like the centre-half pairing. Bach did play in a central defensive midfield role in the previous game. Kairi drafted in to take that spot. Here's again, another Bach. Hails from the Tafaya on Morocco's west coast. Good pass between the lines, and Baba really pinged it into the feet of Lamnui, couldn't control. Suleiman will watch that one over. Tariq Sekwi, 48-year-old, born in Fez in Morocco. Had a fairly decent playing career. Actually won the African Youth Championship Player of the Tournament in 1997, the tournament we now know as the Under-20 AFCON. W. Just won the league title for the Pro League with Aris Berkan, their first ever league title in Morocco. He's been able to turn the ball out wide here to Mehri, who gets it in and upheld by Dixon Job. Job almost taking a boot to the face there. Solid 24-year-old from Morogoro, who forms a brilliant partnership with Hamid for both the national team and for young Africans. Our match referee today did oversee Morocco's 2-0 win over Angola to open the tournament. They played out at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. Kabombe. Spoke very confidently at the press conference yesterday, expanded on what it would mean not only for the team but for the nation as well. It's a brilliant opportunity for them to venture deep into this competition with the home ground advantage. Which they will have once again for the 2027 African Cup of Nations. Have qualified for the 2025 edition, coming in Morocco. They'll be based in Fez and Rabat. Ethiopia, Nigeria, Tunisia and Uganda as Morocco look to get in behind. Good defending from Ibrahim Hamad. Classy centre half. And one of the toughest men out there. He's still actually in active military service, was recently promoted to sergeant. So corner to deal with. Dixon Job gets it away fairly easily. That hasn't yet strayed out, so an opportunity to get on the break. The referee providing a final warning here to Khalid Baba. Man, like his coach, born in Fez, where Tanzania will become very acquainted with this coming December and January. Lamlu manages to lay it off here to Pugri. Stab through. It's a nice idea, and it may still break kindly for them, but cleaned up by Tanzania. Already showing the combative side of his game, a man who turned 29 last month. Not like the rest of his teammates, but quite similarly to the full international side, born outside of Morocco. Islam Louis looked to create the space there, to fire off the shots from distance. A man who would love to stand alone as the top goal scorer in this tournament, currently on 3, level with a couple other players. Nice ball for Hussein Mohammed. An opportunity here to cross. And an easy claim for Al Harab. But an illustration of what Mohamed Hussein is capable of. Long-time servant of Simba Football Club, who has just moved to their bitter rivals, Young Africans, where he will play next season. Couldn't agree terms with Simba after 11 years at the side. He suffered bitter disappointment at the hands of a Moroccan team just a couple months ago. Started both legs of the Confederation Cup final against RS Berkane. We have a few representatives out there this evening. Nice little return ball to Lamloui, who hits it. Zipped up fairly awkwardly. Right, Suleiman dealing with it competently. Born in Sohia in Zanzibar City, just 25 years of age, goal minder. You have to be excellent between the sticks to displace Raish Mamula. Back to Shakshev. Al-Harab spins it out to Baba, laying it off for Kairi. Final pass, not accurate enough. Kagoma, the same. Tanzania actually unbeaten in 6 successive CHAN matches since they 2-0 lost to Zambia at the 2020 edition, as Morocco sees upon this in a dangerous position. Lamloui with a fairly inaccurate pass. He's lucky to see a teammate latch onto it, and the chance still alive there as Khalid Baba has a few options to aim for, can't find a teammate. Now inside, with Suleiman trailing in the possession stakes. Nicknamed Morocco, incidentally. It's a moniker he's had since he was about 6 years old, he informs me. His first name bearing a similarity to our popular national team player at the time. who bore that name. Too much. Laksut. Hasn't got forward all too often just yet. The potent fullback. My apologies, Bellamari. Laksut on the ball now. Well, both have been in to this point. Not all too many opportunities for them to overlap just yet. Especially given the makeshift nature of this defense. Bach on the ball now. Man who joined Asfar from Husrabat, where he spent 8 seasons at the beginning of this last campaign. Referee ruling in favour of Tanzania and Hussein. Mehdi, to a quiet degree. Did in all but one of Aris Bakan's league matches on the way to the title. Contributed 5 goals and 3 assists. Tariq Sekri first represented the national team of Morocco as a player back in the early 2000s. He won 3 league titles with Porto after initially starting his career in the Netherlands. He was at AZ Alkmaar before joining the Portuguese outfit. Dixon job. It's a lovely pass to find Sapu, and then Temzi Zize not able to link up with Faisal Saloum. Has been kept very quiet up to this point. 4-1 in a great area. Edinado, roar of the crowd. Saloum from a tight angle, and Toto doesn't need all too many opportunities to get on the ball. The terrifically talented Azam FC man. From an inopportune angle, he was hitting the target. Al-Hara got across well. Swung in and easily claimed by the 24-year-old goalminder. Big move he got to Raja Athletic Club, Hara, at the beginning of this previous season from Mohamedia. Baba skips away from one. Didn't really have a positive outlet there. Too much to Shaksheh. Now Kayiri. Progress stopped on the flank. Lamloui! Well hit, but a good save from Yaqub Suleiman. Osama Lamloui on the turn, firing off an excellent half volley. The man who scored a brace against DR Congo. He has 3 in his last 2. And has been finally afforded an opportunity in the lineup. Did have an excellent season with Aris Berkan, 10 goals in 21 league appearances. But it's really in the CAF Confederation Cup where he shone. 4 goals in the knockout stages, including one in the final against Simba, where he came up against Kagoma, Kapombe and Hussein. He's looking to terrorize them again tonight. Job spotting decisive, couldn't control under pressure. The green. Sopu, sino from Irinaro. Fake Toto. This is Karoma. Hussein. From Kapom. Seeing a lot of it right now. Only young Ombe in Zanzibar. Debut 10 years ago now for Tanzania in 2015 in AFCON qualifying. Here he is once again. Can't work it successfully to Kapombe. Philip Suleiman celebrated his 55th birthday 2 days after the opening day win over Burkina Faso. Former under-20 coach, who in his time as a club manager did face Raja Casablanca with Namungo FC in the CAF Confederation Cup group stages back in 2021, and lost both of those games. Forward by Balamai. Not particularly accurate from the 26-year-old from Rabat. A bit surging around here from Bulaks. Past the midway point in this opening period. It turned from Zimat. The end of the match, last time out against DRC. A little bit too much on that ball in behind from Sabir Fikri. I was mentioning he's born in Mechelen in Belgium. Like many of those who play in what will be considered the first choice international side for Morocco, born outside of the country's borders, and it's only in the last 2 years that he's actually played club football in Morocco, joining the Raja in 2023. Clemson Zize has switched flanks. Torments Mushabchek now. Mushabchek, just 21 years of age. Made a very brief cameo against DRC. Those were his first minutes in the competition. With the coach perhaps realizing that he would almost certainly be forced to play in their quarter-final match with Ushab Arasi and Marwan Luadni having picked up yellow cards going into that game on the cusp of a suspension. 2 yellow cards resulting in a suspension. Yellow cards wiped out at the end of the group stages, but not if, for example, you had 1 card going into that final group game and you get another, that carries over to the knockouts. Same would be true for a red card. Good interplay. Decisive. Laying it off for Sopu. Striker who loves to drop in deep. Feitoto. Sopu. Gage. Excellent job to Ibrahim Hamad, better known as Baka. Here he is again. He's routinely had the most touches and most successful passes for Tanzania across their previous matches. And considering that they did dominate their group matches, he's been the player with the most touches and passes in those games across both teams. Not to mention his aerial prowess. That one just gets away from Zizé. Over 18 months in charge now for Himad Suleiman. Took over from Adel Amrouche. Funnily enough, after he was suspended by CAF and then fired by the TFF during the Africa Cup of Nations following their defeat to Morocco in the opening group game. Then on match day 1 in Group F, lost 3-0 and Rouge dismissed. Himad took over and he oversaw a 1-1 draw with Zambia and 0-0 draw with DRC. It wasn't enough for them to progress. And he has steadily built this team back up from the ground up. Slightly overcooked, runs away here from Tanzania. Balamari, who's been ever present at this tournament. He's good going forward. 4 assists and a couple of goals in 23 league appearances for Raja Casablanca last season. He's actually managed 25 assists in the league over the past half dozen years. He had a few in the most recent edition of the CAF Champions League. Now he has some defensive duties to do as Kapombe sets up over the top acrobatically from Clement Zize. Well, he's in the kind of form where he's willing to try anything. He did make a clean connection, but perhaps not flinging himself far enough around to direct the ball downwards, as would have been necessary to score. Thumped forward by Hara. The little flick is successful from Khalid Baba. Did come on fairly early in the second half rather, against the DRC for Imad Biyai. Given away by Sopo to Trimat. Should have seen it before him. That kill was a nice idea from Bulaksu. Raja Casablanca in 2022. First season with them, managed to get to the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League. They were knocked out by Al-Ali though. Good skills from Feitoto. Kapombe. Receiving from Irinado. Looking for him once again. Rinaldo down under the challenge of Anas Baf. He intimates that he won the ball with a little hand gesture, and the referee agrees. And he says the ball's been won cleanly again, this time off of Khalid Baba. Balamari continues. Yeah, gets the touch, takes it through to Suleiman. These two sides met in March in World Cup qualifying in Wiesde, the Stade d'Honneur. Morocco winning 2-0, Agued and Brahim Diaz scoring. On that day, Tanzania fielded their current backline and goalkeeper, as well as Jair, Zize and Faisal Saloum. 9 out of the 11 starters were local. With the exception of Sami Kuba and Sebastian Miroshi. Fetoto hooks it across, but only Soko waiting and well guarded by the Moroccan backline. Morocco currently lead their group in World Cup qualifying, 15 points. They will comfortably go through. Tanzania on second on 9 points. Eritrea have withdrawn. There's actually no current word on what's going to happen with that situation. It does affect Tanzania's ability to become one of the 4 best second place teams, which are currently Gabon, and then Cameroon, Senegal, and Namibia, who are all on 12 points. So they will play the game more. So if you were to assume they would get the 3 points from Eritrea, they too would be on 12 points. Then for those 4 teams, there's a playoff for 1 spot in the Intercontinental Playoffs. It's very difficult to get to the World Cup from second place, but it is possible that the bodies go flying and the card flies in the face of Bulaksu. It's the first that's been issued today. Clement Zize on the receiving end of little tug. Oh, and then straight auto on the end of the tug. It's Clement Zize who feels the force of the sliding challenge. Dished out 4 yellow cards in Morocco's game against Angola and 5 when Guinea drew with Algeria in the 2 previous assignments he's had at this tournament. Here and from range, ball struck firmly but into bodies. Jair flung out here to Kapombe, has plenty of time to measure the cross in. It's an improvised attempt from a man who loves the audacious, has a penchant for producing the spectacular. It's back with Clement Zize. Chooses to try and play in a teammate. Hit by Kapombe, but into the body of Shimat. Thought Clement Zize might try and pull the trigger there, having scored a spectacular long-range goal in the CAF Champions League against TP Mazembe, now given away cheaply. But Morocco don't have enough bodies forward to capitalize. Pinned into the space behind, but just running away from Feitoto. Now the ball slightly behind him from Kapombe's cross. Trying to maybe flick it in with his heel on the turn. A man who earlier this year won the Mapinduzi Cup, representing Zanzibar against Tanzania. Burkina Faso also in the mix. They beat them in the final. First time that prestigious tournament has ever included national teams rather than club sides. man who was instrumental in qualifying them for the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Scored twice in qualifying, including on match day 5 a 2-0 win against Ethiopia that kept them in it. Well, Kagoma can't believe that he's received a booking for, as he claims, his solitary foul of the game today. Kagoma is the second name taken. Didn't fly in though. Not sure he can have too many complaints. Remain down, decisive midfield. 25-year-old born in Marrakesh. Titleist with Ares Berkane. Been with him 2 seasons since joining from Tanzania Agadir. Compared to the last 2 CAF Champions League finals, some of the dignitaries up there. Well, his career is the TFF president, right in the middle with the black cap. Now shot from distance from Yusuf Kagoma, asking questions of his defence. What a terrific effort from Walaksu. Former under-23 international. So he's capable of goals. Scored a couple for Raja Casablanca in the season past. Babala, poor corner and an easy take for Suleiman. Is down. They're a little light at the back now as numbers pour forward for Tanzania, but at that critical moment, the pass not good enough, and now the referee will call a halt to play. Well, Farid Sektoui incensed on behalf of Shafchef. There's a look at that earlier attempt. The defence just kept backing off and backing off. And Suleiman asking that a little pressure be applied. So the young man from Casablanca is back up and running. Decent ball forward. Got a lot of game time towards the end of the season with Raja. He was initially playing second fiddle to the veteran Anas Niti, who then moved to the UAE in January, and 24-year-old Al Harar became the first choice. Hussein can't find him. Zize. Morocco eyeing 3 successive victories for the first time since their previous appearance at the CHAN tournament in 2020 when they won it. Claimed 4 successive victories on that occasion. Actually only suffered 1 defeat in their last 17 CHAN games. The 1-0 loss to Kenya at this edition. 14 wins and 2 draws over that time. It's a remarkable record. So for Tanzania to get the victory tonight would be some accomplishment. That deflects off the boots of Kairi and it's the hands of Al-Hara. This is Jaji. Down the line for Kapombe. Whilst Hussein has been a little more conservative on the opposite flank, Kapombe has had license to get forward with frequency. Al-Hara. Kagoma. Seeking to thread a ball through, but his pass in the end appearing rather aimless. Tanzania hit the target just once so far in this match. That was through Faisal Salum. And that's from 5 attempts that they've had. Morocco 3 from 3 in front of goal. And Suleiman has stood firm. No one's executed more accurate passes than he has. 35 in total at the moment with a 95% accuracy. He's on the ball again. Hands out wide for Jaye. Kapombe. Turns it in field. Jaye. Kagoma. Come on. Hussein, Idinado. He can provide that spark they need. Kagoma. Very clear. Seized upon by Sopu. There is Abdul Suleiman once again, better known as Sapu. Very mobile forward. He's not afraid to move around the pitch. But whenever he vacates that centre forward position, there's always someone to slot in. Never without a central outlet. Come home. Away by Kairi. Kapombe to Zize. Still they move it on. Clement and Zize with the big movement. Oh!
Yeah!
He struck it tamely straight down the throats of Al Mehdi Al-Harar. Best moments of this quarter-final comes in first half stoppage time. And it falls the way of Tanzania's star, Clement Mzize. Now at the other end, Morocco may be in with a chance. There's a foul by Osama Lamloui. Another look at this opportunity. Deft touch from Soppel, just feather it into the path of Clement Mzize, who had to re-establish his balance and then was forced to dig the ball out from under his feet. He's no stranger to scoring crucial goals. He did on the penultimate day of the league season, as young Africans came up against their bitter rivals Simba in a game that had been postponed for months, with just 1 point separating them. And by the end of the match, Clement Mzize on the score sheets in a 2-0 win. They had a 4-point buffer that could not be overhauled on the final day. That's the whistle to signal the end of what has been a terrific opening period of football. Al Harar only called upon to make 2 saves, the second of which came in injury time to deny Clement Mzize, but in truth, it wasn't an altogether testing shot. At the other end, Yaqub Suleiman has made 3 saves of his own, and yet it remains deadlocked after 45 minutes, 0-0 in Dar es Salaam. Semi-final spot on the line. A familiar place for Morocco, uncharted territory for Tanzania, but backed by this packed stadium. They may back themselves to get the job done, and they have looked lively in moments. They have looked promising going forward and steady at the back. Morocco, in truth, with their reject back line and the introduction of the 21-year-old Mehdi Shafsheh, who had featured for just a couple of minutes in the previous game, have also done a decent job up to this point. In Tanzania, having trailed in the possession stakes earlier in the half, have overhauled that number. It's been fairly even in that regard, though, has to be said. Tanzania and Morocco, just about 30 passes separating them, with Tanzania the edge in that regard and slightly better accuracy. But really, in truth, after 45 minutes of football, the numbers so similar. The only difference really being the total shots and the fact that Morocco, with fewer, have been more clinical.
Opportunities to every Kenyan. We have projects across the entire country. With a deposit of 5% the value of the house and a fixed interest rate of as low as 3%, your journey to home ownership begins. Log in to the eCitizen portal or dial *832#. Register with 200 shillings only and start saving via mobile money, debit card or credit card to achieve the required deposit. From the listed housing developments, select your preferred location and apply for a housing unit to begin your journey towards home ownership. Prices start from 640,000 Kenya shillings. Visit Boma Yangu at www.bomayangu.go.ke. Brought to you by Affordable Housing Board. Makao Bora, Jukumu Letu.
ni vile niko na calls mingi. It's a busy day, you know.
Kazi katuita.
Speeds, better experiences, over 15 million Kenyans. One network, Safaricom, popote ulipo. Nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
At the heart of Kenya's transport infrastructure is the Mechanical and Transport Directorate, MTD, under the Ministry of Roads and Transport. We oversee a network of services spread across 24 strategic regions, ensuring efficiency in plant and transport services nationwide, from road construction and maintenance to the provision of specialized equipment to manufacturing services. We support infrastructural development across the country. We carry out inspection and valuation of government vehicles, plant and equipment in view of pre-delivery, repair and maintenance and disposal. We also inspect second-hand imported motor vehicles for roadworthiness as per KS 1515 and conduct occupational tests for drivers and operators. For more information, visit mtd.go.ke or call 0718 976 445. The Mechanical and Transport Directorate, Quality Mechanical and Plant Services. Are you looking for an insurance partner with a smart cover that doesn't break the bank? Look no further than Definite Assurance. We make insurance simple, clear, and definitely affordable. We offer protection for various motor classes, fire and burglary, marine, personal accident, bonds, and corporate medical insurance. We are real people who give real care. Visit www.definiteassurance.com or email info@definiteassurance.com for more information, or contact 0708-247-247 or 0788-247-247. Definite Assurance. You are definitely covered. Je, uko nao?
Here at the Kenya Bureau of Standards, we do not just set the standards, we set the pace. Just like our footballers, we believe in excellence, integrity, and protecting what matters most, you, our consumer. From the products you buy to the services you trust, KEBS is your silent defender. Ensuring safety, quality, and fairness every step of the way. As you cheer your favorite team, Harambee Stars, of course, know that behind every timer, every goal, every whistle, there's a standard that holds strong. Kenya Bureau of Standards, the home of standards. Enjoy your Chan Games on KBC, your true sports partner. Quality, integrity. That's the standards we live by. KEBS, standards for quality life. Viwango kwa maisha bora.
Mahari
magharibi mwa Kenya. Maisha ya familia moja maskini yanaelea kwenye ukingo wa taabu.
Umetoa wapi hizi pesa?
Dadi, umeiba.
Wewe ndio mwizi, unaiba mbuzi wangu.
Baba ni mlevi, ameitelekeza familia yake na inayumbayumba.
Leo mimi sijaelewa na bado una raha.
Andrew, adui mkubwa wa familia hii, anaichukia
Napigania shamba. Toka mbele yangu wewe.
Pesa zetu bwana.
Hauogopi Mungu, hauogopi shetani.
Congratulations Dina. Kwanza kumadatea ya danganya.
kwa Josh. Kilichosalia ni mzigo mkubwa zaidi kielimu kama atafaulu kujiunga na chuo na kimaisha. Je, atatoboa?
Very interesting stuff indeed. The fairy tale for Harambee Stars comes to an end, but now the focus shifts to Majirani, Tanzania, where they've gotten a golden chance to seal it off, but unfortunately, nothing to talk about in terms of goal. Very quickly, gentlemen, I'm joined in studio by Bernard Odipo and, of course, Jofat controller Murila. Bernard, I'll start with you. Tanzania, against Morocco. Have you seen what you expected?
Well, I think Morocco have handled themselves well. I think Tanzania have had an upper hand in that match, but they've not made it count.
Murila, chances in football, please take them, because you might just live to rule those chances that you're missing. Mzize with a golden chance to give Tanzania the lead.
Yes, he got it and he fumbled out. It has to take him another 20-30 minutes to get the same chance. So I don't know how he's going to get another chance.
What can you expect now that, the whole debate has been around Kenya, Tanzania. Kenya knocked out by Madagascar. Now Tanzania, for them to get the bragging rights, they need to win this game, Odipo.
And not an easy one. I think for them now, football starts. I think they've had an easy group, and now they have to pull up their socks and prove that they are what they say they are.
Murila, what do you expect in the second half, knowing that Morocco have been controlling, going forward, they have the numbers, but they are also not clinical in front of goal?
I'm expecting, because Morocco have maintained their style of play, they have never changed, so I expect them to come up and create enough spaces to score. However, I would like Tanzanians, instead of them sitting behind, they should come forward and show their free football.
Odipo, we've seen Tanzania sitting back, absorbing all the pressure and hoping for counter-attacks. Then gradually they started coming into the game by 1-2 passes. Do they continue with the same, or do they just take control of this game and try get a goal, then frustrate Morocco?
Unfortunately, we know that Morocco comes in the second half. They come better than the first half. They've settled now. They have the tempo. So Tanzania must be very worried of that Moroccan counter-attack.
The Moroccan counter-attack can come into play. We've seen Morocco making good use of the pitch. They can control, spray passes, left, right, and center. How do they get their act in terms of getting that elusive goal? Very quickly before we go back.
They normally create what you call a 1-2 situation and pull out a player, and then the last player creates the space for the final score.
Thank you. At this point, we want to appreciate all our partners who have been supporting us in this as we get ready to go back. Boma Yangu, Basco Paint, Duracol, Safaricom, Be Live, Niform, Joy Mila, Saraha, Wheat Maize Flour, Elgon Kenya, Make It Kenya, KTB, and of course Eden Cabs, your ride. Thank you very much. We head back to the stadium and let's see what happens.
It's evenly poised in this quarter-final matchup between Tanzania and Morocco to determine who will be heading through to the last four, the 8th edition of this Total Energies African Nations Championship. Both sides have had opportunities to go ahead. Neither have been able to break the deadlock. Tanzania in the knockouts for the very first time at a Chan tournament. This is the 11th game at the African Nations Championship. Morocco becoming the 10th different opponent that they faced. Morocco had beaten all their East African opponents, or never lost to the East African opponents, before defeats to Kenya earlier in this tournament. The first time, though, they are facing an East African team in the knockouts in what is for them a long history at this stage. Morocco, 7 games in the knockout rounds. They have won 6 of those. They have lost only their first back in 2014 when Nigeria came from 3 goals down to beat them 4-3 in extra time. So they have won 6 straight knockout games, and all 6 of those wins have been in open play. We did see that the previous match between Kenya and Madagascar, who couldn't be separated after 120 minutes at 1-1, did have to go through to penalties as we get back underway here. It's something that's happened half a dozen times previously before this tournament at the quarterfinal stage. 6 penalty shootouts in across 10 quarterfinal matches at Chan that have needed extra time. In fact, at the previous edition in Algeria was the first time that all of the quarterfinals were settled in regulation time. Something we've never seen before. Tanzania making a fast start to the second half. Ball cleared away by Bach, but straight to an opponent. Here's Yaya, just apologising for a fairly woeful effort. Bach, goalkeeper, Haran and Mshafshir. Bach with the most touches of any Moroccan player out there in the opening period. But unsurprisingly, Ibrahim Hamad for Tanzania ruling the roost in that particular regard. Here's Dixon Job, centre-half partner, who's been equally composed at the back. It is one of the traits that a modern centre-half must possess, being comfortable on the ball. Being able to dispense it forward with accuracy. Mshafshir to Al-Harar. Now Bach. And really broke through at Rabat in the 2018-19 season, although he had a few appearances in a couple of years prior to that as a teenager. Now finally got his big move to Asfar at the beginning of last season. Mohamed Hussein. Kagoma seeking to lift it to the flank. Yusuf Kagoma, who's sitting on a yellow card currently. He, along with Bulaksu, the only 2 players who've been cautioned. Bashar Harar again, this time from Clement Mzize. Nicely done by Kairi to find Lamlui. Timat. Brings such poise to the midfield, 31 years of age now. Shashir. Blatt. Can't force his way past Ilinado. He's found Feitoto. Clement Mzize. Kagoma. Hussein. Feitoto drills it to the opposite flank. Sopu. There's Sopu again. Feitoto. And the block is from Ayokairi. It's a lovely ball in behind. Flag stays down. Jakub Suleiman is off his line and the ball comes straight back at Lamlui. He has to make a second save, which he successfully executes. Pulaksur now. Then he's fouled. Morocco have a free kick in a great area, but before Tanzania can worry about that, they have some concerns over their goalminder. Almost hung out to dry by his defence on 2 occasions. Well, he comes off his line brilliantly, makes the save, but the studs of his boots, and then he's able to make a second stop after Mohamed Hussein returns the ball straight through Lamlui. Aishmanula warming up in anticipation of the worst case scenario, but Suleiman looks like he's good to go. Well, that man, Tariq Fikri, led Aris Berkan to the CAF Confederation Cup title back in 2020. That was actually their first Confederation Cup title, which they've now won 3 times. They beat Pyramids in that final. The reigning CAF Champions League champions. So the barrier has been assembled. They flick it over the top, and Jakub Suleiman again with elite reflexes to respond to the danger. They were anticipating a direct free kick. It didn't come. I think it's an excellent call by the first assistant, Emerson Dong. A really nice idea from Morocco. All right, hoists it forward. Zizi with the flick. Gets his head on the ball again. Forward by Yusuf Methri. Methri has really not seen all too much of it. He and Khalid Baba, the 2 wide men in attack, have had fewer touches than anyone else on the park. Barely involved up to this point. Lamlui. tangles with Kagoma. So off a little worse for wear. Both players go down. It's almost a headbutt. Here's Kagoma, who wins it initially, having anticipated the bounce of the shoulder of Namnui. Simba Man has stayed down. Signed him last year, about a year ago from Figura Fountain Gate. Formerly with Delta Gold before that. Let's have a look at the contribution of Jakub Suleiman up to this point. The man who has now made 5 saves in this game. Doesn't think it's good enough from his defense, and he probably has a point. Louis will be patched up, as well Kagoma. Kagoma's remained seated. A man who doesn't have particularly fond memories of coming up against Moroccan opponents in recent times. Kagoma was sent off in the second leg, their home leg in the CAF Confederation Cup final against Ares Berkan. They came into that game trailing 2-0 after the away leg, but they had pulled one back, so it was 2-1 at that point, and they really did look as though they could mount a successful comeback, and Kagoma was sent off. And from there, Berkan were able to equalize, and the game was effectively over. So potentially a redemptive night for him from a personal perspective, in terms of Moroccan opponents, and several of the players out there this evening he faced on that fateful day. Away by Messi. Budatir Yaya is penalized. Scored one of the most important goals in recent memory for Tanzania. The winner on match day 2 in their most recent qualifier against Guinea, a side that eventually they went on to pip by 1 point in Group H. This, by the way, upcoming, will be Tanzania's 4th appearance at the Africa Cup of Nations. They've qualified now for 3 of the last 4 since 2019, having only appeared in 1980 prior to that. So, when I mentioned at the start of this game that Tanzanian football, buoyed by the influence of their powerful club sides and the inclusion of so many locally based players, it was certainly not hyperbole. They really are on the up and up in recent years. back to his goalkeeper as Shakir over the course of this game. Passed to him 8 times in total, which is more than he's passed to any other player on the field. Leonardo's done tremendously well here. And he still has it. Now he's been successfully dispossessed. 3 marks. Taken away from Lamnuri. Clementon Zize. Will find the touchdown for Jair. Running away from Zize, who's tucked on his shirt. He's rightfully penalised. Does really well to work the ball out to Mehri. Suleiman stumbled. Jaya wins it. Only in 2014 against Nigeria. And then in their semi-final against Libya in 2018, which they ultimately won 3-1, have Morocco gone to extra time. But none of their knockout games have gone to penalties. They've all been won in open play. Hayiri with the challenge on Janvier. Really... awful infringement. Dragging back the diminutive Tanzania midfielder. Had they been further up the field, surely would not have escaped a booking. Getting there ahead of Mehri. Mehri. Oh. Terrific touch from Mehri, and Jakub Suleiman has flung himself at the ball and grabbed it at the feet of Lamnuri. Well, he's already made 5 saves, which is more than he's previously had to produce in any of their 4 matches up to this point. And whilst that won't go down as a save, it's just as critical. Tanzania in front of their home fans, having the tournament of their dreams. As it's worked out here to Leonardo. This is where he excels. Now he stung the palms of the goalkeeper, and he knows he would have been better served cutting it back a little further. Now Morocco with Mehri. Nutmegs Zize. He responds to that humiliation by dragging down the Moroccan winger. time coming into this tournament and already 3 at this year's finals. Working hard to try and make it 4. It's the 2-time winners. Not only 2 winners that made it through to the last 8 of this competition. Senegal, the incumbent champs. The other former winners present in the quarterfinals. That's a delightful ball played across to Lamloui. Opens the scoring for Morocco. That's 4 goals in 3 matches. And a hush blankets the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium. Stunned silence around the stands as Tanzania, for the first time at this tournament, find themselves behind. Threaded through expertly, and then Lamloui on hand to convert. And a cross from Yusuf Balamari. And he now stands alone as the leading scorer at this competition. Frantically scribbling notes is Kibet Suleiman. Working out a plan to get the Taifa Stars back into this game. Bandaged, but not in any way demoralized. Osama Lamloui with the crucial touch past a man who it seemed up to this point to be unbreachable. Yaqub Suleiman, who had already denied him a couple of times. And Osama Lamloui, with his 5th shot and his 5th on target this evening, finally sticks it away. Well, in response, it appears as though they are preparing Nasur Kamut. And plays his football for Azam Football Club, Dar es Salaam born. Recently back in the country, getting a previous season following stints in Egypt and Serbia. Golaksu. Mehri wins the corner. Well, Yusuf Mehri has come alive in the last 10 minutes or so, having produced a fairly underwhelming showing in the first hour. Ulrin. His delivery in, not yet cleared. Now it's away, falls at the feet of Anaspa, who strikes it well. That's a fierce hit, deflects off Dixon Job, and behind for another corner. And that stop and play presents the perfect juncture for Tanzania to implement their change. And it is A defensive midfielder who makes way. So, Hamoud off the bench once again as Morocco look for their second. Slimat had taken off his toes just as he was about to strike. Back up. Hussein. This is Clementon Zize. Zize's ball in. Claimed by Harar. Worked out now to the right-hand flank. Hamoud's first involvement. Sees the ball get away from him, and he's now come on as a sub for the 4th time. Jaje. Oh, he wriggles his way free. Come on! Oh! Good effort from the substitutes. Tanzania will not go down without a fight. That you can be sure of. Marvelous skill from Mudatir Yahya. A fairly decent effort from Hamoud as well. Here is Mohamed Mufid. He will be replacing Bugrin, a man who played his football all over the world: Belgium, France, Luxembourg, Azerbaijan, before eventually moving to Esperance and then on to Raja, making himself eligible for this competition. Game that they did go on to lose, however. Hooked to back up by Dixon Job. Hamoud. Position relinquished by Jaje. Baba. Over the top for Lamlui. Very well read by Baka. Sopu. Taken clear by Anasba. Played in the CAF Champions League for the very first time last season. With the Aspa. Got out of a group that actually included Raja Casablanca and Mamelodi Sundowns. Lost to Pyramids, the eventual champions, in the quarterfinals. Came on late in the game. They lost 4-1. They were already down by 4-1, and then helped them keep a clean sheet in the second leg where he played the whole game. 2-0 win. Better from a Tanzania perspective. Zize and Hamoud, who provide height, awaiting the cross. Feitot. Same to Baka. Feitoto. Jaye. Mehri now for Morocco. Mufid. Back to Shakhshef. Bellamari was racing forward. The man who supplied the assists for the solitary goal of this game so far. Well, Morocco in their previous 7 knockout games had scored 21 goals and conceded just 6, 4 of which came against Nigeria. They are looking for clean sheet number 5 in their 8th knockout game, which would be enough to send them through to the semi-finals. Cross from deep. Madagascar already in the last 4. They do not await the winner of this game, though. That is victorious to Uganda and Senegal. That's this game in Kampala. Ininano. Tanzania's touch, that's not quite tight enough. Longluri. Mehdi. Now Mufi. Trimat. Kairi. Ulaxi. Morocco controlling the tempo brilliantly. Just under a quarter hour of regulation time left to play. Trimat. Floated forward for Pulaksuk. Lamlui. Ball gets away from him now. Ininano attempting to send Clement Mzize on his way. Shakshet Solzamadami. And they've escaped that pressure brilliantly. Harar dispenses it upfield. Who comes to collect. Taken away from him by Baba. Rimat. Olaksu. Well, they've barely given Tanzania a touch in the last few minutes. This is unbelievable game management from Morocco. Now they could spring into action. Mufid. Good tackle from Mohamed Hussein. Laksut. Mehri. Lamlui. Bends it over. So change for Morocco with 23-year-olds. Suwan coming on. Replaces Ayub Kairi. Second sub appearance for Suwan. celebrate his 24th birthday next month. Now Pascal Msindo will enter the fray in place of Sopu. Msindo, who debuted for the senior team in AFCON qualifying, began in September of 2024. Idinado can't get his cross past the first man. Hussein. Frei Toto. Yaya. Into the final 10 minutes of regulation time here. So, full touch from Hussein. Just the 2 shots on target for Tanzania, compared to half a dozen for Morocco. Clement Mzize, space on the edge of the area now for Yaya, and Mahmoud has screwed it over. Really got under that. Really set up by Jaja. Issues persisting for Zamduri. If he departs, having provided them the platform to progress. Deft touch from the 29-year-olds who starred in the Confederation Cup this past season. And has already put a Tanzanian club side to the sword. Applying a little bit of pressure here, but really allowing Frei Toto to just glide forward. Kamud brings it towards the back posts. Linaro. Hussein. Ilinaro's ball in. Nice. Coming down to Haras. Along with Haras Bach. Well, against Mauritania, they left it late. Mari Kapombe coming up from the back to convert a very similar cross to that from Idinado. It was in the 89th minute. Morocco have conceded in each of their last 3 outings, albeit in their previous 2 they were 3-1 winners of the Zambia and then DRC. They conceded nonetheless. Huge amounts of anxiety in the stands. Mohamed Suleiman wants his side to lift their game. They can produce when there's pressure. They did so in the AFCON qualifiers. They needed a win in their final game to jump above Guinea in their final qualifier in Dar es Salaam. Sam Suba, who currently plays in Iraq, scored the only goal in that game. Yuri becomes the latest recipient of a card. Doesn't remain the latest recipient for long. That one flashed in his face. Man who led the under-23s to bronze at the Paris Olympics. They beat Egypt 6-0 in that match, having lost to Spain 2-1 in the semi-finals. Clay Toto's ball cut out. This is in for Lamlui, away by Dixon Job. Khalid Bab. On the way back to Anasba. Mahmoud is onside. The flag at least has stayed down for now. Spain races onto it. Edi down. Salamani Ali, as he's christened, known to most as Edi Nado, plays for Azam Football Club. Approaching his 50th birthday now, man who debuted as a teenager for Ashanti City. His national team debut now 6 years ago, qualifying for the 2020 Chan tournament. He's come past fellow East African side Kenya on penalties to send them through. Speaking of Kenya, will they be joining them in the losers column and exiting this tournament? Even Uganda as the solitary remaining hosts. Uganda coming up against Senegal in Kampala tomorrow. Give it away to Yaya. Took a little while to set himself before delivering that forward. Zamdu. The ball to find the sub, Suad. Into the final minute of regulation time as it's claimed by Yaqub Suleiman. powers it forward. Right, Hamoud has seized upon it. And illegally so, according to the match referee. One-year-old Shaksheh going down. Minutes added by our referee from Cameroon, who, by the way, has just been announced that he's been selected to officiate at the Under-17 World Cup in Qatar in November, so congratulations to him. For now, he needs to oversee these half dozen additional minutes with Tanzania, no doubt, pushing hard to try and find the equalizer, try and force extra time. Yeah, knocks it long. Hamoud. Zizek attempts the spectacular for a second time in the match. Went for an overhead kick in the first half. This time catching Mufid, who'd already cleared. Seconds of the 6 additional minutes have come and gone. Laksu clearly pulled back there by Faye Toto. Yellow card for Faisal Salou. Morocco will be introducing another defender, Faoud Zawani, and Lamloui finally departs. Well, the crowd voicing their displeasure with another call that's gone against them. And Mohamed Hussein getting involved as he wants to speed the process along. Well, now is the time where customarily see antics from the team that are leading. It's Tanzania's assertion that there's a little bit of play acting going on. There was certainly no play acting when Lamloui clashed with Kagoma, the blood visible through the heavy strapping on his head. And it did nothing to hamper him in his efforts up front, as he was finally the man to break the deadlock. So Morocco with the free kick. has been kept in. They might be able to seal it here. Headed away by Baka. So desperate are they to defend this lead that they're tackling each other here, Morocco. Mufid flying in on Bulaksu. Cleared away by the substitute, Sahouani. Need to show urgency here. Drilled for by Feitoto. Kamud attacks it. It's a horrible coming together here, and I think the young centre-half may have been knocked out. And as much as Kamud is stricken as well, less of the concern is for him. He's moving. Shakek is motionless. It's a horrible collision. Moroccan fans readying themselves to celebrate. And now sparks fly. Tempers flare. Then Morocco's 18-yard area. Yeah, the referee quickly intervening in the melee. For his role, gets a yellow card. Forward by Feitoto, Mufid away. Jaye, dispossessed by Mithri, who's really grown into this game. A man who came into the match with 3 assists, leading the way in that regard in the tournament. Fairly tepid first half display. And the final whistle goes. It's a fiery end to a match in which Morocco emerged victorious. All it took was 1 goal from the tournament's leading scorer, Mustafa Lamloui, who's netted 4 times in his last 3 outings. And at this intimidating cauldron in Dar es Salaam, Morocco handled the pressure. The 2-time champions marching on, continuing their quest to make history as the first team to win Chan 3 times. They dump out the hosts. Well, they fought so hard, did Tanzania, who until this match had not once been behind, had conceded only once in 4 games. Lamduri is the hero. A man who's building on his terrific season, his title-winning season with Aris Berkan. Continental success in the Confederation Cup as well, and he's hoping to leverage that into more African Nations Championship glory as we go to our man of the match for his steady display in the center of the park. It's the Atlas Lion skipper. Successive man of the match awards for Mohamed Fimat. As he guides Morocco through to the last 4. They have made the semi-finals now of the last 3 tournaments they've been involved in. They won the previous 2 they were involved in after skipping the edition in Algeria. As we take a look at the statistics, incredibly even in terms of the share of the ball and the passes. Not much to separate them in that regard, but when it comes to the total shots, there is a stark difference. Morocco put their last 3 shots off target, but their first 6 were all on target. Their 6th hit the back of the net. Tanzania could only test the goalkeeper twice, and that was where the difference lay, as they lose 1-0. So 2 of the 3 hosts are out. Attention's turned now to Uganda. Let's confirm for you the results. Madagascar coming from behind, the team that emerged as 2nd place in Tanzania's group, went to Nairobi and dumped out the hosts Kenya on penalties. They advanced through to the semi-finals, where they will take on the winner between Sudan and Algeria in the game that will be staged at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar City tomorrow, whilst Morocco will face the winner of Uganda and defending champion Senegal, who clash in Kampala. Let's confirm for you those matches. Uganda has home ground advantage once again against Senegal. Sudan against Algeria.